Hello friends and welcome back. I actually am getting a video up. I have an event on the horizon and as always I have nothing to wear. So I have decided what I'm going to do in the 9 days between now and when the event actually happens is that I'm going to take a skirt that I made probably about 2 years ago at this point. I made it for everyday sort of wear, but I used an 1890s pattern to make it. So it's technically history bounding, but it looks quite modern because of the fabric choices. I'm going to take that skirt and I'm going to make a new bodice for it that'll bring it into the actual 1890s. When I was thinking about the inspiration for this bodice and how I wanted to tie it into the skirt that I already have, I almost immediately thought of these kind of cross-front 1890s bodices that we have a couple of extents of. We have one that came up for auction that was actually from the House of Worth, and it is this wonderful chartreuse green and black stripe, and it's just delicious. Then we also have this dress that has that same kind of cross-front bodice in this gray and purple stripe. I also found an 1890s fashion plate of a morning gown for first morning that has this cross-front bodice, and I was like, wow, I have to make that at some point. So I made up a quick sketch on how it would look together with the skirt, and I think this is going to work. I have a couple of yards of that same striped cotton left, which I think is going to be enough for this bodice. I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough for the bodice and the sleeves, but we will find out. I don't know if the store actually sells this fabric anymore, so I'm going to try and make do with what I have left. But first what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drape myself an entirely new bodice pattern because I don't have any 1890s bodice patterns anymore. So I'm going to have to make myself a new one. It's going to be a bit of a challenge because I made this mannequin at the beginning of last year and I have lost about 30 pounds since then, so it's actually quite a bit larger than I am now, especially when I'm corseted. So I'm just going to start draping and hope for the best and fit it on my actual person and see how far that's going to get us. I don't have high hopes, honestly, but you know, trial and error. So let's get started. I started draping the bodice pattern last night and there was just something about it that was bothering me. Period examples almost always have 2 darts in the front of the bodice to fit it, and I had only created one. So I went back and I scrapped everything that I had done and I started draping a new bodice, and I'm pretty happy with it as it is now, but there were a lot of fit issues with it because the dress form that I'm working on now is a bit larger than I am, and if I'm going to make patterns off of it, they're going to turn out much too large. So I spent the better part of yesterday finishing the bodice pattern, making a mock-up, attempting to fit it on myself. There are some things that I just couldn't get quite right. There are some wrinkles on the side back section that I just can't seem to eliminate. I'm terrible at drafting out sleeves, so the sleeve came out enormous. So I had to drop like 2 or 3 inches off of the width of the sleeve. And the shoulders just weren't quite in the right place. And it's been such a hot minute since I actually draped anything that I was really struggling to recall exactly like how to do it so that it works correctly. And I think I got pretty close. I'm pretty happy with what I have now. I only have 6 days at this point to finish this project and only 2 full days of sewing available. So I really need to actually get started on the construction, and I can't really take too much time to futz around with the pattern anymore. So what I'm hoping is that today I can get the foundation layer put together. Let's really dive into this today and see how much we can get done. after tonight's work. So I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far. I have everything pinned together except for the front panels are actually finished. I went ahead and did the darts and the boning channels and all that jazz. So the front panels are actually good to go. The plastron is just pinned in right now, but the front panels themselves are all complete. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking. And the back has snazzy pattern matching. Yes, I am very pleased with how this looks. And this is looking okay. I thought it would be a little more dramatic than it's actually turning out, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not upset about how it's looking. But yeah, right now I'm really pleased with the total package. So tomorrow, sleeves. I'm very nervous about how much fabric I have left because I think there's like 1.5 yards maybe of the striped fabric left, and I have 2 very large sleeve puffs that I need to cut out, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make the lower sleeve work on a bias with the amount of fabric I have left. So we'll see how that works tomorrow. Well, I'm pretty happy with the progress that I made yesterday. I got everything for the bodice cut out and pinned together. I got the construction on the front panels finished. So yeah, if the camera's shaking, that's Carolina brushing up against the tripod there. I was going to go ahead and try and cut out the sleeves today, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I only have about like 1.5 yards of fabric left, which is, I can finagle it to be enough to cut out these sleeves, but it's going to be a tight squeeze. And I'm wondering now if I shouldn't do alternating panels of a black and striped fabric the way that the skirt is done and mirror that pattern on the sleeves. So I'm gonna take some time and think about it while I finish up the construction of the bodice, because I don't have to decide that today. I can do that tomorrow. I would have to pick up more black fabric to do that, and I can't really get out on the roads today because we iced over. So in Texas, that is a recipe for staying home and not going outside at all. So today is just bodice construction, getting the boning channels put in, getting everything sewn together and the seam allowances tacked down. And then tomorrow we'll think about what to do with the sleeves.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is the bodice with the skirt, and I'm thinking now maybe doing the sleeves the same way the skirt is, so like alternating panels of black and striped, because the bodice is looking like a whole bunch of stripes all in one place, and the skirt is broken up a bit more, and I think maybe doing the sleeve the way the skirt is might alleviate some of that blockiness. I don't know yet. There are extant sleeves that have alternating panels of different fabrics, so it's not without the realm of possibility, but I don't know if I want to do it. So I'm gonna think on it. And in the meantime, I'm gonna sew up the bodice seams. All right, working on sleeves. I want to have them kind of maybe not on the true bias, but at least slanted a little so that the stripes wrap around the arm, which means putting the pattern diagonally, which is going to eat up more fabric. But I think if I do that and then make the lower half of the sleeve just a solid black, I think I can get away with it. We will see. Alright, y'all, I think I screwed this up, but we're gonna make it work. So I was going to place the sleeve this way, but then the stripes would have gone in the wrong direction. So now, Carolina, you gotta move, lady. I know. Scooch. So now I've got to piece the sleeve here, probably from that section over there, and make that bottom section here work. So there'll be a seam in the middle of the sleeve, but hopefully it'll be floofy enough that it won't really be too noticeable. But yeah, I'm just trying to make this work. So let's see if I can do that. Problem solved. Is the seam noticeable? Yes, it is. Do I care? Not really. All right, now I just gotta figure out what to do for the lower sleeve. Well, it's Friday. It is the last night before the event and I have quite a bit to do. I cut out the upper portion of the sleeve last night and pieced that one sleeve. And then when I went today to the fabric store to see if they had any more of that stripe, I didn't think they would have, but they did. They had a whole bolt of it in stock. So I got 2 more yards. I'm actually going to redo that upper sleeve portion so that there's not that seam there. And then I'm going to cut out the rest of the sleeve, get that all assembled. I picked up another yard of the black cotton that I was using so I can line the peplum. And then I need to figure out the situation with the cross front closure. So there's a ton to do tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna get all of it done, but I'm gonna try and do as much as possible. If I don't get the hooks and eyes sewn on, I can just pin it shut in the morning. It's not like I haven't done that before. Yeah, no time to waste. It's already 8 o'clock in the evening, so I do not have much time to get everything done. I really need to push through tonight and at least get this bodice looking presentable and to the point where it's wearable. Alright, it's almost 10 o'clock at night and I haven't even put the sleeves together. So at this point I am making an executive decision for the event tomorrow. I am going to wear my shirtwaist from my lingerie dress and wear that with the black and white skirt instead. So didn't get this finished for the event that I designed it for, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to finish it at all. Yeah, I'm calling it. It's not happening. The bodice is not happening for tomorrow. But these things happen frequently. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Alright, well the event has come and gone and the bodice did not get finished. It's kind of unsurprising. I don't really seem to get stuff finished in time for events these days. But I'm still determined to finish this bodice before the end of January. The only things I really have left to do are the sleeves, the hem facings, and getting the crossover front lined, which I still have to pattern, but that hopefully shouldn't take too long. I'm hoping to at least get the peplum lined and the bottom facings finished tonight, and then tomorrow I can do sleeves on the cross front and hopefully be finished with the whole thing. So let's get back to work on this. Okay, the bodice is looking pretty good. These sleeves are just kind of loosely pinned on at the moment, but I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. So now what I want to do is finish the facings on the bottom edge, and I think I can do that tonight before bed. It's about 8:30, so I think I have plenty of time to get that done. And then I'm not going to sew the sleeves on until that is done so they're not in the way. But yeah, pretty pleased. Okay, it's Sunday, and today I really want to get this thing done. I didn't quite hit my goals for last night, but I got very close. I got the facing into the peplum and I got the sleeves assembled. So really all I have to do today is put everything together and finish up. It's only noon, so I have plenty of time, and I'm gonna push through until I get this done tonight, so let's go. It is really warm for February. Whew. It's done. I can't believe it. I actually finished something entirely, closures and everything. I usually don't do that. Closures seem like something you would want to put on every outfit you have, and yet I almost never do. I always end up pinning or sewing myself into anything before an event. So I'm actually really proud of myself for having put the hooks and eyes into this and making it complete. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Some things I would do differently. For the crossover panels, I would add more length along this seam and then pleat that up so there's more of a dramatic pleated effect across the front. I don't think there's as much as there could be to make it look really super cool and interesting. And secondly, you can see here that the collar doesn't exactly fit the way it should. It's supposed to be standing collar, and I didn't take into account that I have generous allotment of flesh under here, and so it closes on the bottom but it does not close on the top, so I just folded it over and it's fine. Everything else I'm super happy with. The fit is pretty good. Bust turned out just slightly too large, which is why it's kind of poofy right here, but the waist fits really well, so that's something. I interlined the sleeves, the top of the sleeves, with tarlatan, and it's pretty good at keeping these things poofy without any extra sleeve support in there. I'm really, really pleased that I was able to get this kind of pattern matching on the sleeve. That makes me super happy. And the chevrons that are formed in the center back and on the little peplum, those make me really happy too. So yeah, there's a lot about this bodice that I really enjoy. So what do you guys think of this bodice? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications if you really like me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.